Hey, Lions fans, something just shifted in Detroit. And it's the kind of quiet move that doesn't show up on a scoreboard, but changes the way a season breathes. Not a rumor tossed in the wind, not a feel-good quote. I'm talking about a lever inside the building finally getting pulled. You won't see confetti for this, but if you listen closely to how reps are split, to who's getting walked through snaps, to which staffers are calling which agents, you can feel the air get heavier at Allen Park. That heaviness means urgency. And urgency, in October, usually means one thing, a decision that travels in January. Here's my promise. I'm going to lay out the timing, the logic, and the football behind it without jumping the gun. We'll unpack why the next 10 days could redefine the backing of Detroit's defense, how the front office is weighing picks versus production, and what it does to the locker room if a new voice walks in midweek. No spoilers yet. First we earn the reveal, then we talk names, cost, and fit. By the time we get there, you'll understand why this might be the moment that keeps February in play. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. If you live and breathe this team with clear eyes and a full heart, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop a like so more Detroit diehards catch this breakdown in time. This community runs on straight talk and shared obsession, and today we're going to treat you like the smartest person in the room. Because you are. Let's set the stage. You can win a Sunday and still lose something important on the whiteboard. Continuity, matchups, or the margin for error that separates a playoff push from a deep run. Detroit has proven it can punch with anyone when the script is clean and the plan holds, but the NFL is a league of stress tests. You don't get to pick the weather, the whistles, or how healthy your corners are on a short week. That's why grown-up teams make grown-up choices before things break, not after zoom in on the human part we all love to skip. Dan Campbell's culture is built on trustworthy snaps and earned jobs. Veterans notice when the front office protects the locker room from getting overexposed, and young guys feel 10 feet tall when the plan around them makes sense. You can preach next man up, but there's a difference between asking depth to hold the fort and asking them to play hero ball in back-to-back, heavy formations against elite quarterbacks. That difference is where seasons flip now the football. Detroit wants to be who it says it is on defense, physical up front, disciplined in pattern match, and stingy in the red zone. But you can't play tight leverage and squeeze throwing windows if you don't have enough length and top end. Speed outside to survive the shots teams will take when they're behind the sticks. That's not a narrative. That's geometry. Against the better passing games on the schedule, you either contest the 9-ball and live, or you give up explosives and chase dot. So, what's out there? Trade calls always start with archetypes, not names. Lane 1, a long corner with range and recovery speed who can live at the line, disrupt releases, and still find the ball down the field. Lane 2, a grown man technician who's seen every concept in the book, won't panic in scramble rules, and can stabilize your backside rotations on third down right away. Both lanes exist in the current marketplace. Both have price tags in picks and cap. And both have chosen well lower the blood pressure of an entire sideline. The calendar matters. In the next 2 weeks, opponents who stress your rules are coming. The league's trade clock doesn't care about your timeline, and neither do teams bidding on the same players. That's why proactive front offices do their homework in layers. Medicals, cap math, scheme fit, special teams knock-ons, personality in the room. It's not splash for the sake of splash. It's the kind of move that lets your pass rush hunt with a lead and your offense call a calmer game in the fourth. All right now, we talk. Inside Allen Park, the green light is on to add a top-of-the-depth chart corner if the value lines up. With 2 parallel tracks already built, a trade inquiry for a long, high-ceiling outside corner from the NFC West profile, and a short-term deal for a veteran former All-Pro profile who can give you clean snaps tomorrow. That's the crux. Not rumor for clicks, actual homework done, threshold set, and permission granted to strike if the numbers don't insult the future. Let's walk lane 1, the trade archetype. You're targeting length, wingspan, ball skills. and a 4.3, 4.4 gear that lets you hold the red line without cheating the safety. In Detroit's structure, that player lets you play with heavier hands up front and keep your split safety disguises. Honest, because you're less afraid of the whole shot. The cost? Think mid-round pick plus a conditional sweetener tied to playtime or wins. The risk? You're paying for traits and coaching up the consistency on the fly. But if it hits, you don't just survive this stretch, you raise the ceiling for the next 2 seasons. Lane 2 is grown man football. A veteran technician think former DPO Y-adjacent resume who won't win the 40 NB anymore but wins every Tuesday in the film room and enough Sundays on timing. Press when you can, off when you must, and the ball still finds his hands. This is the guy who walks in on a Thursday, lines up on a Sunday, and gets you lined up. The cost is cash, not picks, and the downside is age curve soft tissue risk. The upside is immediate calm where you've been riding the roller coaster. What does either move do to the depth chart? First, it puts players back in seats that fit. Your nickel gets to be a nickel more often. Your safeties can disguise without playing firefighter on every deep crosser. Your CB3 plays matchup ball instead of living on an island against WR1 South. That cascades the pass rush. Coverage buys a half second. A half second buys a hit buys a takeaway. And a takeaway buys your offense a short field. Football is a chain reaction. The right corner is a spark plug. Let's be adults about the trade-offs. Picks matter. So does the cap, and so does the growth of your draft class. But windows matter too. When you've built a real shot at January football, your job is to protect the window from cracking under stress you can see coming. The wrong move is panic. The right move is alignment. Coaching asks for a tool. Scouting identifies the right version of that tool. And the front office pays the price that doesn't mortgage tomorrow. That triangle is how grown-up franchises live. There's also the messaging piece. Players watch what you do more than what you say. If the building sees that leadership is willing to protect the locker room with a targeted move, that belief shows up in Wednesday reps. It shows up in how a young corner plants his foot at the sticks. It shows up when a linebacker trusts the throw won't get over his ear and sits on the route. Confidence isn't a speech. It's a plan everyone can feel. What if it doesn't happen? Then the plan must shift to scheme elasticity. More cloud on the money downs. Leveraging tight red disguises to bait the throw you want. And asking your pass rush to win the rep a tick faster with gains inside. That works for stretches. It's not a surrender. It's an adjustment. But adjustments are bridges. Bridges are for crossing, not for living on. And if it does happen, don't underestimate the off-field ripple. A veteran with pelts on the wall can make a young room grow up quick. A traits corner with runway can make a competitive room push harder. Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn are builders. They'll use whichever lever they're given. The question isn't, do the Lions need a star? The question is, do the Lions need one more adult snap every series? Sometimes that's the whole season. Now I want to hear you drop it in the comments. If the cost is a mid-round pick and incentives for the long corner archetype, are you in? Or do you prefer the veteran quick install on a 1-year deal and keep your draft ammo clean? Which version fits Detroit's identity better in your eyes length and upside or experience and floor? And if you're riding with the current room, tell me how you tweak the coverage menu to get through the next 3 weeks. This channel is smarter because you are. Make your case.my view clean and simple. I support a disciplined, value clean move if it presents itself ideally. The veteran quick install that stabilizes the room without touching future picks. That's not a promise. It's not a report of a signed deal. It's my opinion based on football logic and where this roster is today. Everything you just heard is informed analysis, and until pen meets paper speculation.